Lesson 3, Self-Portrait Reflecting an Emotion.
Hello, Triad students. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a self-portrait that reflects an emotion. So this is lesson 3, your third assignment for online learning. So please follow along in this video. Also be sure to check out the Google slide. The Google slide also has good information, some step-by-step instructions, and super important, the grading criteria, so you know what I am looking for when grading this project. The materials you will need to create your self-portrait is a piece of paper. You can choose if you'd like to use an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, which is sketchbook size paper. If you don't even have sketchbook paper, you can just use plain notebook paper. Whatever you have at home will work. I'm going to be using a larger sheet of paper. My paper is 12 by 18. But again, whatever you have at home, any paper will work for this assignment. You will also need a pencil. If you have a mirror is helpful, but it's only optional. You don't have to use a mirror for your self-portrait. You're gonna need some sort of coloring supplies, whether it's crayons, colored pencils, marker, maybe you have some watercolor paints or acrylic paint, oil pastels are great, or chalk pastels. Really any coloring materials will work. All right, so please follow along as we talk about and you learn about how to create a self-portrait that reflects an emotion.
The main focus of this lesson is that you learn the proper proportions of a face. So please check out the Google slide so you can learn about what a self-portrait is and reference the proper proportions. To start, you are going to want to have your paper going vertical, and you are going to sketch lightly because we're going to be making lots of adjustments. We're going to be even making some measurement lines, and you're going to need to erase those as you go. So make sure your pencil line is super duper light where you can barely see it, and you're going to draw a circle toward the top of your paper, and then you're going to add sort of a U shape under that circle, which is going to be your chin. Again, I'm looking at the Google slide that has the directions on the step-by-step creating a face in the correct proportions. Once I have my circle and my chin sketched in, then I'm going to the center of that shape. The center is where you are going to draw your eyes. So if you want to draw a line through the center of what you've just sketched, that circle attached with a U shape, which is your chin. So you're finding about the middle. Believe it or not, your eyes are located in the middle of your head. Often we think our eyes are located more up toward the top of our head, but believe it or not, they're in the middle. So sketch your eyes, and then you're going to sketch your nose. If you have a mirror, sometimes a mirror is helpful, so you can look at yourself. However, for this project, I'm not so concerned on your self-portrait looking exactly like you. I'd like it to look somewhat like you. But since this is our first introductory to self-portraits, I'm really looking more toward, are your proportions correct? So when I'm grading these, I'm looking to see if your eyes are in the center of your head. Is the top of your eye lining up with the top of your ear? Is the bottom of your nose lining up with the bottom of your ear? Do the edges of your mouth line up with the center of your eyes? These are all consistent measurements for all portraits. So whether you are drawing yourself or drawing someone else, these measurements are always the same. It's important to know these measurements. It will help you in the future if you ever want to draw, again, another self-portrait or a picture of someone else. For this project, we're also focusing on reflecting an emotion. So as you sketch, think about your facial expression and what emotion you want to reflect. I've chosen happy, so I'm making my eyes a little bit bigger and brighter, and I have a nice big wide open mouth smile. In this image, you can see my measurement lines helping me get the correct proportions. As you become happy with your sketch, you'll start erasing and adjusting lines. As you sketch, you may even want to consider adding some shading where shadows and highlights are. Once you're happy with your sketch, now you're ready to add color. Remember, we want to think about what emotion we're going to reflect and what colors we're going to use. To add color, though, you can use crayon, watercolor, paints, acrylic paints, colored pencil, marker, whatever you have available. Before I really start adding the color to reflect my emotion, I'm taking a black crayon and I'm just going through and outlining some of the details so that you can really see some of those important features. I feel like if I just color this now, you'll lose some of my pencil work that I've done where I've done some shading and some highlighting. So I'm just taking a black crayon just to really accent some of those details. As I'm outlining some of these details with black crayon, which you could also do this with marker, you want to think about maybe adding a pattern or something interesting in the background. After you've finished highlighting some of those details, now you can start adding color. So I'm coloring my hair, I'm coloring my skin, my eyes. You do not have to use realistic colors. Again, think about the emotion that you're trying to reflect. As you'll see in some of the examples on the Google slide, maybe you're sad or maybe you're anxious and you want to color your hair blue or orange. So think about what emotion it is that you're trying to reflect. It doesn't have to be realistic colors that you color your self-portrait with. So my emotion is happy, so I'm trying to use bright, happy colors. I'm going to go ahead and color my skin, regular skin tones, but this time I'm going to use some marker in combination with crayon. So when selecting your color medium, whether that's paint or crayon or colored pencil, you don't have to do the whole thing in one medium. So I'm mixing my mediums up. I used crayon to start. Now I'm using a little bit of marker, and you'll see toward the end that I finish it with some watercolor paint. As I continue to color, I'm thinking about the emotion that I'm trying to reflect. I've decided to add a little pink, a little highlight to my cheeks to make my face look really happy. And now I've selected watercolor to paint my background. Again, I'm thinking about really bright, cheerful colors. Watercolors are a little bit lighter anyway. They're not dark and heavy, so I'm trying to think of things that are light to really reinforce that emotion of happiness. So I'm filling my whole background and my shirt and any other areas that still need color with my happy color scheme. And here's my finished work. Remember, the focus of this lesson is for you to show me that you understand the correct proportions to a portrait. Also, that your facial expression and color schemes reflect an emotion.
All right, I can't wait to see your finished self-portraits that reflect an emotion. Be sure that you are checking out the Google slide for step-by-step instructions as well. There's really good information and images to help you create your self-portrait. Also in the Google slide is the grading criteria for this project, which is really important for you to check out so you know what I am looking for in this assignment. Make sure that when you are finished, that you are uploading an image of your finished artwork to Google Classroom. All right, please contact me, email me, or contact me through Google Classroom if you have any questions or need any help.